Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jacky and I'm the face behind Jacky Knits here on YouTube and on Instagram. And today is Vlogmas day 14 and 15 combined because I'm not really doing that much on this weekend since I'm a bit sick still, and just to have enough content for a video, I thought I just put the whole weekend into one Vlogmas episode, so 2 days combined, and opening 2 of my advents in this video to just show them. As I mentioned in previous episodes of my Vlogmas, I'm doing my own kind of advent calendar where I browse through my stash every day and pick out a yarn or a skein of yarn or a yarn quantity that has been laying in my stash and has not been knitted up yet, and showing a pattern or reviewing a pattern I imagine to knit the yarn into. So today, as I've said before, I have 2 different yarns to show you. So I'm actually going to start with the small one because we're going to keep the big one till the end. So this is a yarn order from Knitting for Olive, and I ordered the Knitting for Olive Merino and the Knitting for Olive Soft Silk Mohair. And okay, this looks weird. Okay, so this is the yarn I ordered. So this is the Knitting for Olive Merino in the colorway Soil, and this is the Knitting for Olive Soft Silk Mohair in the color Hazel. As you can see, it's a bit browner and a bit darker than this one, and this tends to be more grayish, and this tends to be more like in a brown direction. And the Knitting for Olive Merino contains 250 meters in 50 gram skeins, and it's light fingering weight. And the Soft Silk Mohair is 70% mohair and 30% silk. It is cruelty-free, 25 gram skeins and 225 meters, and this is lace weight, so it would give like a light decay knitted together. And originally I had the idea of knitting up the Ballet collar by Sari Nordlind, or any like collar or cowl design. But then I participated in the Highland Sweater test knit by Sharon Mokhtari of Coco Amo Knitwear, and I had some issues with the sample I knitted. I actually frogged it after the test knit because I had some gauge issues with my yarn, and my gauge loosened so up while knitting that none of the row gauge, stitch gauge, measurements, anything matched, and my sweater just turned out super wonky. Not the designer's fault, it's definitely my fault since I didn't pay attention to keeping my gauge straight. And I have some yarn in my stash as well. It is the same as this. I can't find it somewhere, but I know I have it. So the lace mohair is from Drops that I have, and it's in the color... Okay, I'm just gonna blend it in here. I don't know now. And I have some merino as well, and this is discontinued yarn from Hobbii. It was the Hobbii Evergreen in the color magenta, and since the Highland sweater has a different colored sleeves than the rest of the body, I have enough yarn to make the sleeves in this brown color. I have 2 skeins of this and 2 skeins of this. And it is enough yardage to make the sleeves, as you can see on the sample picture, to make the sleeves in this brown, and then the rest of the sweater in this lilac lavender colorway. I'm actually just going to insert a picture of my lilac yarn so you can imagine better. But yeah, so if I don't make this cowl or collar, I definitely will use this up for the Highlands sweater for a accurate version of the high-end sweater. I'm going to swatch both yarns to really make sure everything matches. And so yeah, this is the first advent we're opening today. And then I have the second advent opening, so technically the advent opening for Sunday. And this is in this big plastic bag. This is actually a yarn quantity, I'm going to be honest. I do a quite heavily amount of yarn shopping throughout the year. And this quantity I ordered, I think, spring this year. And I have knitted it up. So this is really a plan for 2025. Next year to actually knit through my stash and just really go through it and knit as much as possible as I can from my stash. And really my plan is to really knit the projects I stated in my vlogmas and to keep this like consistent, and then maybe next year reviewing, okay, what plans did go to as planned and have been knitted the way I said in my vlogmas, and maybe some plans changed. But I would love to review this stuff in the next year, maybe in a separate video. If that's something that interests you, just comment down below and I'll definitely keep that in mind. And this yarn quantity I ordered was for the clematis sweater by Emma Meyer from Emma Knits. She is a German designer, but publishes her patterns in German and English. So even only English-speaking knitters can definitely buy and knit that pattern up. And this is the recommended yarn. So she has two different yarn combos required in her pattern. So a warmer version, I don't know what yarn she specified for that, but for the summer version she required BC Garn Summer in Cashmere and a lace weight mohair. So I bought the BC Garn Summer in Cashmere in the color 11. I think it's called Bordeaux, and this is actually a discontinued color. So I got I would say a good deal on this discontinued colorway. I got 500 grams. I think it was 10 skeins. Yes, 10 skeins of this discontinued color for a good price. I think it was like 30 euros for this 500 gram package of this color. And then I was searching for a good mohair to pair with it. And then I found this Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair. And this is in the color Claret or Claret. I think it's called Claret. But if I'm mispronouncing anything, please, I excuse myself. So, yeah, this is, as I've said before, 70% mohair, 30% silk, 25 gram skeins with 225 meters lace weight, and this is Summer in Cashmere. This is actually 90% cotton and 10% cashmere. So sometimes I experience with some cotton yarns that they feel a bit like plasticky, and with this 10% cashmere percentage in this yarn, this actually has, I think, almost no plasticky feeling. It's really soft. And I would say the mohair is not an exact match, but I think it would create like a really pretty fabric for the clematis sweater. And then maybe even search for this kind of buttons, or maybe just some black plain buttons to attach on the clematis sweater. But I usually look for buttons when I've knitted up my piece or when I'm ordering yarn, so I can compare whether the buttons match my yarn or my vision. But usually I buy the buttons after I bought the yarn, and when I'm knitting it and I'm visualizing everything, I ordered the buttons to match. So yeah, this is the second Advent opening for today. And yeah, as I've said before, this weekend is not going to be really content heavy. I'm just putting some snippets here and there of me knitting or going out with my kids, because we're really not doing that much this weekend, and we have some really shit weather. It's basically just raining and super windy, and rain and windy, not a good combination. So yeah, I think we're just gonna visit my mother-in-law, their children's grandma, and I think that's basically it. Just me knitting and eating food and just trying to get better again and not being sick again. My nose got a bit better, but my voice is still really scratchy and not on the point where it was before I got sick. So I hope you can understand me even though I'm a bit sick. And I hope you guys like this Advent opening in this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much for your support. And yes, that's all that I wanted to say. I wish you a happy day, morning, weekend, evening, whenever you're watching this, and I hope to see you in the next Vlogmas episode. Bye!